What's up, guys? What's up, chat? What's up? So, if you guys have watched me, you know that I've been working on my Excel backtest spreadsheet, but it's it's currently loading 40 million rows, and it's gonna take a while to load. I figured I might as well, yeah, I might as well just start my game, right? So, what I'm gonna do, and if any of you are also interested in game development, I'm going to go through a tutorial starting from day one where we create a couple games. This one's specifically by Rick Davidson. We have several hours of content where he makes us create a bunch of games, and pretty much, yeah, that's literally it. We just make a bunch of games until we have a good foundation for creating our own game. My game that I have in mind, I've already planned it out. I already know what I want to do. It's going to be a family-friendly sumo slam game or sumo wrestler game that I'm calling Sumo Slam. And I want it to be a kid-friendly, or maybe everyone's drunk and you just throw on the sumo wrestling game. 8 player. I want it to be in the Nintendo shop and just, in particular, just be for, just kids, family friendly. So I already created my first game. It's called or what's it called? It's not called anything because it's in this tutorial. And if you guys can see, I don't know if you can, here it is. Here's the game I made. It's nothing special. It's literally just like a little impossible game type thing. And it's actually the first game that we make here in this tutorial. But for the sake of, having my viewers follow along my process, seeing the very beginning and streaming the whole process, I'm going to start all over and do that. The only thing I will say is I will probably be skimming through the coding parts where they explain coding because I'm actually a developer. I don't need to look at that, but I will still explain when you guys have questions. I'll still explain what something is doing, so long as I actually like really understand it. Sometimes like maybe it's a little, maybe I'm a little like I understand it but not fully, but I understand it enough to use it. You know what I mean? But from what I remember, I kind of understood how everything was working, in terms of writing scripts and calling for like functions and stuff like that. So that's how I'm going to start it, guys. We're going to be playing mellow music like this throughout the whole time, and I hope that's okay with you. Unless the chat starts telling me that that shit is annoying, I'm going to keep doing it. Even if y'all tell me that shit is annoying, I'm like, fuck it. Like, might still play it, man. No, you can never go wrong with Minecraft music, right? So, let me respond to this one guy real quick. Give me 1 second. All right. So, let's get to it, guys. Let's play the intro. I paid for this course,
Hello
guys.
and welcome to the course. Good to have you here with us. My name is Rick. I'll be your primary instructor for this course. We'll have a couple of other Game Dev TV instructors join us from time to time, and so you can learn from more than just me, get some different perspectives as we go along. Now, I've got 5 things I want to cover in this introduction video. The first is that we're regularly updating our content. We're remastering it, as we call it. So usually it means we're working through newer versions of Unity so you get things as up to date as possible. What that means is as you're going through this course, you might get to a point where I say in a video, hey, you've reached the end of the new content. Coming up next is older content we've created. The older content is still fantastic, it's still relevant. It was just created in a older version of Unity, so sometimes the buttons are in a slightly different position or the functionality is tiny bit different, but you can still follow that content. You can still use a later version, so a newer version of Unity, go through that content no problem. If you have any issues at all, we always recommend that you go and find the exact version of Unity that we were using when we recorded that section, so everything lines up perfectly. And you can do that by going to Unity's website and finding an older version of Unity. My second point is that we create the course so that absolute beginners won't get lost and won't get...
All right, guys, I'm gonna skip this because I'm not about to waste 3 minutes. I'm gonna get y'all hyped myself. 1, you need C#. Download VS Code. Get VS Code. We're gonna do C# on VS Code. Do it right now if you're watching. Download VS Code right now, bro. Come on. And then next, we're gonna use Unity. Download Unity. Okay. Wait. Let me make sure. Yeah, Unity. It's right here, guys. It's right. You see that? Unity right there. Okay. Download that before we get started. That's step 2. And then he also says, he explains that beginners can follow along and it's gonna be easy for absolute beginners, which is what I'm saying. Get on this shit, guys. Follow along with me. Follow my journey. You might even end up making your own game. And even though he doesn't really go into how you could get into the Nintendo shop, that's why I'm here. That's why I'm going to go into that, right? So after this course is done, we're not done. We got to get into the game design. We got to create 3D models. We got to, just set up how it's going to work in general. You know what I'm saying? So like I'm saying, guys, just start. That's step 1. Start, right? So, let me open up my X stream so I'm not missing your guys' questions since Botrix doesn't work with you guys for whatever reason. Okay, there we go. Let's get started. Download Unity, VS Code, literally telling you what I just told you. IntelliSense issues. If IntelliSense isn't working in VS Code, there's a simple steps you might want to try. IntelliSense is just like when your code is completed for you within the IDE. IDE just being software, like video. Like if you're a video editor, you use Adobe products. The Adobe product would be like the IDE of the videos. You know what I'm saying? Or whatever you're making. That's IDE. IDE is just for programs, for coding. That's all. So, yeah, okay. If that didn't, okay. Have you tried turning it on and off and on again? Give your computer a quick restart. See if that helps. Sometimes this is all you need after some new software has been installed. If that didn't work, next step is to check that you have the Visual Studio Code package installed via the Unity Package Manager. In Unity, go to Window, Package Manager, then make sure you select Packages. Okay, hold the fuck up. What is it telling me to do? The resources. Yeah. In Unity, go to Window, Package Manager, then go make sure you select. Oh, well, that's after we start our thing. In the top left, and find Visual Studio Code Editor. Here, I'm gonna leave this for you guys to. Oh wait, no. If you just have your remove button, then you're good to go. All right, let me actually read it clearly so that I'm not chopping for you guys, because if you are following, I'm not going to be a dick and do that to you. If IntelliSense isn't working for you in VS Code, there are simple steps you might want to try. First, have you tried turning it off and on again? Give your computer a quick restart and see if that helps. Sometimes it's all you need after some new software has been installed. If that didn't work, the next step is to check that you have the Visual Studio Code package installed via the Unity Package Manager. Whoa, it's hot in here. I might actually need to step downstairs to turn on the AC real quick, because holy shit. Okay, give me 1 second. Advanced. Okay, we didn't get there yet. I don't know why it's telling us to do that. Guys, VS Code is going to work. The IntelliSense works automatically. I'm a software developer. That's my literal profession. I have never met anybody it just didn't work. We don't need to really go through this. Introducing Unity. Okay. Let's see what it has to say.
In this video, I'm going to give you a quick introduction to the interface of Unity, and we're going to throw together a fun little vehicle that I like to call a car. Not that it looks a lot like a car, but it's kind of like a car, and start the process of understanding how game objects...
Hold up. Y'all can't see it, huh? Can y'all see it? Can y'all see this, chat? Why is that not displaying for y'all?
Objects and components work within Unity. Okay, let's get
Wait, were
started.
y'all able to see the first one?
Get lost and won't get
you
stuck.
were.
So the course starts off very...
That's weird.
Okay, let's get started. First thing to do is to finish off our installation process. I've got Visual Studio Code that I've downloaded. I need to click on that. Studio in a couple of lectures. It's a little bit of time.
Guys, y'all know how to
particularly
install
on the
some
first
simple
time
software.
That he creates to store extra information. It has a whole bunch of information on there. Lives in our scene.
Okay, hold on.
Now what we see here is the default layout for Unity. If yours doesn't look this way, you can jump up to Window and then find Layouts and click on Default. That will change it back. Just maximize the screen again. That will change it back to the default layout. Now there's a few main areas that I want to point out briefly. We've got on our left hierarchy, that's where all of our game objects will be shown. At the moment we've got sample scene. If we open sample scene up with the little arrow selected next to it, you can see we've got 2 game objects.
Okay, hold the fuck up, because I don't know why it's not even showing y'all right now. It's kind of making me mad.
As loyalty members, we get points toward Milo's money for the things we
I
want.
guess we'll go 3D, create project. I'm gonna just go through what he's doing so that you guys can like, you know what I'm saying? So y'all can see where he's hovering over. Just give it 1 second, it's opening.
Say yes, chef. Yes, chef. As you can see, we're on fire.
Damn, it's taking a break to load, yo. Have y'all been chat? Who in the chat's actually interested in learning game development? That's what I'm curious about. Anybody? To be honest, I'm kind of just like, if you guys saw my Nintendo Switch library, I have so many games on there. I have like at least 30. I just like having people over and like showing them these new games, you know? Like it's kind of my thing. Not my thing, but people know like I just got games. It's not even just that. I do the same with board games, like card games. I just like having things to do, you know? People come over, we don't got to drink, we don't got to smoke. Let's play some games, you know what I'm saying? Some people find that shit corny. They find it a little like nerdy and lame, but when they don't, it's cool. You know what I mean? This is taking a while to load, though. This might be a good time to go turn on the AC, huh? While it loads. In the meantime, let me check my Excel spreadsheet. You guys don't gotta worry about this because this is kind of just 29 million rows. I'm trying to get some stock data from an API into my Excel spreadsheet, and it's like I have to get intraday data. So for all like 7,000 plus stocks in Amex, NYSE, and Nasdaq, I'm getting literally hours of data going like 10 years back, and we are at 30 million rows right now. We're just loading every hour is like data. You know what I mean? So it's been taking like a while, but once it's loaded in, I'm hoping that we'll be able to like get it dynamically and quickly. But yeah, that's besides the point. I was just checking on that. Damn, yo, it's taking a break to load though. I haven't opened in a while, so maybe that's why. It says 2 minutes. Hey, if you just joined the chat, we're still at the very beginning of the tutorial. I am just making a Nintendo game, but at the end of the day, I am a software developer. I make websites and apps. I don't do games. So I just decided that I'm gonna go through this course with you guys. And after I go through the course, that's when I could start making the game I want. So right now, if you want to follow along, what you need is Unity and VS Code. Unity, VS Code. Let me just show you guys real quick so that you guys know exactly what to follow. Unity download. It's gonna be right here, this website right here. You guys download this. Here, I can't even put, you guys can't even copy and paste from the chat, can you? Just put Unity download in Google. It'll be the first one, and then click on this button. And then next we got VS Code. VS Code.
Everyone said
I
to
just
go
want
to a
to.
traditional university to
Oh
get
my
my
gosh.
master's, but
I need to get YouTube Premium, huh? Hey, when I get more viewers, I'll get YouTube Premium. For now, just deal with the ads.
WGU. Their online healthcare
Just hang
degrees
with
are
me.
nationally
Okay, VS
recognized and
Code. I'm
accredited,
just pulling
so
this up so
I
you guys
I'll be
know which
graduating from a
logo
program that
that
employers respect.
you know is
Learn more at
associated with VS
wgu.edu.
Code, so you don't get confused. Yeah, just go here
Watch
and
NHL
you
games
download it. And
live
that's it. Just go
on
through
a
the download
variety of
process.
networks,
Yeah,
all
if
season
you don't know how to download a
without
software,
hidden
yeah, you
fees
probably
or-
shouldn't begin making a game, right? You know what I'm saying? But yeah, that's it. That's it for now. Download those two, and then you're caught up. We're on the same page. I already made a game. I already made this first game we're doing. I was actually on the second one before I started to restart for the sake of streaming the whole process. But I'm cool with that. Whatever, whatever allows you guys to follow along with my whole process, right? I'm a small creator at the moment, small streamer, but at the end of the day, like, I genuinely provide lots of content, lots of value. My other project for stocks, that is literally like a $300 thing that this guy charges to teach, and I'm figuring it out on my own and showing it so everyone can do it. I'm providing it for free for people, for my viewers, you know. I just hopefully y'all follow because of that, but at the end of the day, hey, whatever like helps people out, you know. I think that it's good. Is right. The common theme of the world from the beginning of time is good and evil, and I think the good people are very good at empowering others. So I'm just trying to follow in those footsteps and, you know, genuinely do that. And it just explains why sometimes you go on YouTube and some guy makes a crazy tutorial that's like, holy shit, why'd you even teach us all this? Like, for what? You realize those guys are just good souls. That's all it is. Good souls. And I want to partake in that. So let's get to it. Okay, it's already open. How is it already open? I don't see it anywhere. Okay. Hub v38 is now available and will reinstall after restarting. Okay, I don't want to do that. It's not open. Am I tripping, chat? It's not open. Okay, if that's the case. Oh, it is open. There it is. Bam. Alright, since for some reason this video is blacked out, I'll just hover over what he's talking about. Let me move my head so you guys can actually see the shit he's talking about.
At the moment, the main camera and the directional light. Now, when I click on these in the hierarchy, it highlights them within our scene. You can see this tab just here is scene. We'll rename this to be experimenting, not something.
Okay. Let's start from the beginning.
I'm going to give you a quick
but I'll
introduction to the interface of Unity, and we're going to throw together a fun little vehicle that I like to call a car. Not that it looks a lot like a car, but it's kind of like a car, and start the process of understanding how game objects and components work within Unity. Okay.
Follow along, guys. Follow along. Come on. I'm going to do everything he does so that this little... I don't know why it's... Actually, let me refresh. Let me try refreshing. How about that? It's got to work. Hey, I paid for this course, guys. I'm just playing it. Like, come on. Free course. Alright, it's still not working, huh?
Accept all the agreements. Don't even read them, because that's what us call to Visual Studio.
Alright, guys.
On the new button.
I'm going to talk a
choose
little less.
2020.1. Got a couple of templates we can select from. We're making a quick little 3D project, and I will rename this to be experimenting. Not something we're going to keep. We're just playing around in the engine for now. If you want to change the location, you can click the 3 dots. I'm going to jump back to repos. I'll actually create myself a new folder here. Unity 3D, I'll call this, to reflect the fact we're in the Unity 3D course. Double click on that and then select folder.
Oh, let me just start all over so since y'all can't see the video, I might as well do it with y'all. Okay.
Process, click
right now he's just downloading
install. That'll start Visual Studio Code installing. So we've got it there. so that when we start up Unity, we know how to point it to Visual Studio Code. You might just want to launch it to make sure it all works. Okay, looks like it does work. We'll come back to Visual Studio in a couple of lectures time, but for now we're going to move on and create ourselves a new project. Jump over to Unity Hub. If you don't have that open, then open up Unity Hub. You can see here my 20.1 installation has successfully arrived. I'm going to click on Projects. Top right, you'll see the New button. If you've got multiple versions of Unity, you can click on the little selector next to it and choose which version you wish to start the project in. If you've only got one version of Unity, then you can just click straight on the New button. So I'm going to choose 2020.1. Got a couple of templates we can select from.
3D.
We're making a quick little 3D project, and
3D.
I will rename this to be Experimenting. Not something we're going to keep, we're just playing around in the engine for now. If you want to change the location, you can click the 3 dots. I'm going to jump back to repos. I'll actually create myself a new folder here. Unity 3D, I'll call this.
I'll do
to
it.
reflect the fact we're in the Unity 3D course. Double click on that and then select folder. That will create my experimenting
Unity
project within my
projects.
repos Unity 3D folder. Like I say, you can put it in whatever location you like. Just make sure you know where it is so you can find it later on. Click on create, and we're creating our first Unity project. I'll just speed up through this portion. Sometimes it takes a little bit of time, particularly on the first time that you create a project. So be patient, and then when it's done, we'll be into Unity. Now, what we see here is the...
Okay, now where we were, we are where we were before I started over, so we gotta wait again. Hey chat, come on, talk to me, yo. What's good with y'all? What's up? What's going on? What are y'all doing? How's the weekend going? Who's actually making this game with me, and who's just watching? I'm streaming across multiple platforms, so no, it's not like it's just like 2 in each chat. It's more like 10 total. Which I'm cool with, that's straight. At the end of the day, that just means less people to copy my idea, right? And by the time you can see me make it, it'll already be out in the Nintendo shop and whatnot. And I'm cool with that. Who's watching chat? Who's following along? Nobody. Okay. Let's see. You cannot go wrong with that Minecraft music. Damn, we really gotta just wait, bro. Alright, I guess let me see what's up with that Excel spreadsheet though. $34 million rows, 35. We're about to have 35. Alright, almost there. The thing is, it's literally just gonna tell me like
fresher and better.
We need to import it like,
Sometimes your work shirt
or it doesn't all fit in the spreadsheet.
cozy pillow.
Mm.
Downy. Welcome to your laundry.
Come on, bro. I don't even mind waiting, but it's just like, you know. Huh. Well, if anyone in the chat is following along, please let me know. I'll slow down, like, when necessary and stuff, right? How's life been, chat? Y'all been chilling? I think what's relieving about creating this way is that, like, unlike my spreadsheet, I don't need to use Copilot. I like Copilot, it helps, right? But it's always nice to have somebody just tutoring you on how to make shit, you know what I mean? I'll probably end up using Copilot when the tutorial is actually done and I'm ready to create my game. I'm hoping maybe I can spend like 8 hours on this today. I want to make the first 2 games so I'm all caught up to where I was before. Yeah, it's looking like the obstacle course is 3 hours, and then our next one is 5 hours. So if I can get past section 3, I'll be good to just take it easy for the next couple games. Or next couple days. I just want to like catch up to where I was, because I am making the first game like again, and I'm repeating it just so you guys can see the process of it and follow along if you guys want to make your own games. So there's that. But it's looking like first it's gonna be a little like Impossible game. Like I don't know if you guys play that on the iPhone. It's gonna be like the Impossible game but in 3D. After that is gonna be like a Flappy Bird-ish type game, but it's like with a rocket and you like turn the rocket. And then I think after that it's like a tower defense game where you put tanks down, and then the last one's like a first-person shooter game, but like a really simple one. And I think with all that put together, I'll be good to make like the game I want, right? Okay, so it finished loading. It did. Perfect. Okay, let's continue.
Default layout for Unity. If yours doesn't look this way, you can jump up to Window and then find Layouts and click on Default. That will change it back. Just maximize the screen again. That will change it back to the default layout. Now, there's a few main areas that I want to point out briefly. We've got on our left hierarchy, that's where all of our game objects will be shown. At the moment, we've got sample scene. If we open sample scene up with the little arrow selected next to it, you can see we've got 2 game objects at the moment, the main camera and the directional light. Now, when I click on these in the hierarchy, it highlights them within our scene. You can see this tab just here is scene, and we have our camera. And the other thing you'll notice when we click on each of these is our inspector changes. The inspector is the place that gives us all the information about that particular game object, all the things that we can change, and all the components that are on that game object. So
hey, since you guys can't see it right now, I'm just gonna remove it. I'll put it back when the screen actually works, but for now just listen to the audio and I'll like hover around everything he's doing.
This is a game object. The camera is a game object. It lives in our scene, represented in the hierarchy, and it has a number of components. Each time you see this little arrow that opens and closes, these are the different components. So if we close them all up so they're nice and tidy, transform, camera, and audio listener. I said I was going to close them up, then I open them all up again. These are the components that make up the game camera. Now, every game object in our scene will have transform. Transform is the position, the rotation, and the scale. Basically, that's where it is in the world, which way it's rotated, and how large it's scaled. If we click on the directional light, you can see that we've got transform. Once again, everything has a transform, the position, rotation, scale, and it has a component which is light, and light has a whole bunch of information on there. For example, intensity, which is how bright our light is. Down in the bottom, you'll see we have the project tab. You might want to grab the middle, the line down the middle, and give yourself a little bit more real estate here. And if I click on my assets folder, you see I have a scenes folder within that. Click on scenes, you see a sample scene. That's the current scene that we've created, the scene or the level or the world. We've only got one at the moment within our project. So sample scene, up the top left, you'll see experimenting. That's the name of my project. I called it experimenting. Sample scene is the current scene that we're on. And then you're seeing a little asterisk down the end that says it's not yet saved. If I do Control S or Command S, I'll go up to File Save. Click on that, you'll see the asterisk goes away. Now my scene has been saved to my hard drive. If we want to reinforce that, I'm just going to right click and find Show in Explorer. When I do that, it'll show me that currently within my repos, Unity 3D experimenting folders, I have the asset folder, there it is there. Within that is the scenes folder, there it is there. And within this, I have the sample scene that's saved to my hard drive as a Unity scene file. And because there's only a camera and a light in it, it's pretty small. And you'll see that a .meta file has been created as well. That's just a file that Unity creates to store extra information that it's not able to store in the scene file. What I'm going to do is add another thing to my scene, which will make it slightly larger. So I'll right-click in the hierarchy, and we can create a 3D object. Now, we've got a few things here by default that we can create: a cube, a sphere, a cylinder, etc. I'm going to start by creating a cube. When I do that, you'll see that a cube appears in my hierarchy, and it also appears within my scene. Now we can have a look at this and zoom around a little bit. With your middle mouse button, you can pan around the world. If you hold down Alt and left mouse button, you can rotate around. If you hold down just the right mouse button, you can look around from the spot that we're in at the moment. You can mouse wheel in and out. You can also hold down Alt and right mouse button to do a cleaner zoom in and out. One thing that I use a lot, because I find it really handy, is if you're way off here and you're like, oh goodness me, I've clicked on my cube, where is the cube in my scene? If you hit the F key, it will focus on that object, and then when you hold down Alt and left mouse button and move your mouse around, it'll rotate around that exact object that you've just asked it to focus
Okay, that's
in
good
on.
to know, chat.
Very
Remember
handy.
that.
Now,
Hey, remember, okay. So, middle mouse to move it around. I'm doing this for myself just like it is you. And then if we kind of like fucked it and we like got lost, we click on the cube, or we could do it in here. F, and then it's centered. And then Alt and left click, we rotate it. We also, okay, but if I don't hold Alt, it zooms in exactly what the camera is. Okay, and then we center again. Okay, whoa, hold on. I thought it was supposed to. Okay, I guess not. Oh, wait, it depends on where the mouse is too, where you zoom out. Okay, and then just regular mouse, you can just move however you want. All right, cool. All right, let me position to the way it is, like the way he has it on the tutorial, so that it's like accurate. Right.
we can manipulate this cube. We can change it in a bunch of different ways. You see up in the top left, we have a number of icons.
Okay, I don't have these icons. Hold up. Where are these icons? I don't see it. Let's see, Windows, console. No, that's not what I wanted. Console, window, panels, inspector. That wasn't it either. Oh, it's right here, guys. It's right here. I kind of like how he has it set up. That's bad. That's not bad. I could work that. I could work that way. That's cool. He has the only thing I don't see is the tool thing he has. But maybe it just looks different because it looks like it would be this. So maybe the logo just changed. Alright, that's cool.
If we mouse over the one that's currently highlighted, it's the Move tool. If I go to the next one, it's the Rotate tool, the Scale tool, and the Rect tool. These also correspond to keys on your keyboard. So Q for just general old hand tool, so that's moving around the world.
Oh, that's
W
good to know.
for move, E, R, and T. Generally, I always use those keys on my keyboard for easy manipulation. It's very, very rare that I'd actually
remember that, guys. Q, W,
so I
E, R,
recommend
T.
that you get used to.
So if you type like the normal way, your left hand, just literally the ones right above.
W, E, R, T for changing things around. So if we hit W, you can see that we've got these handles on our game object. These handles relate to the coordinates. The Y is up. You see over in our top left corner, you can see that Y is up, and that's green. Red relates to the X, and blue relates to the Z or the Z. As I rotate around the world, so Alt and left mouse button, you can see that it's rotating the widget up in the top right, and it's also rotating for the object. So let's do some manipulation for our object. I'm going to hit R, which will allow me to scale. Now I can scale if I mouse over the gray cube in the middle. It'll allow me to increase the entirety of my object.
Okay.
If I grab one of the handles for one of the axes, that will allow me to change that particular axis to stretch it or to scale it in that area. Because I'm going to go about making a car, I think. Okay, so this is the first stage of it. I've got one cube. I can rename the cube, so by clicking on it once and then slowly clicking on it a second time. Or I guess more accurately, clicking on it once, leaving a delay, and then clicking on it a second time. I'll call this car body, I think I'll call this. So I've renamed my game object, and you can see over in the inspector, it's renamed car body. Excellent. And now, while I've got car body selected, I'm going to hit Control D or Command D on the Mac, and you see it will copy or duplicate car body. I could also go up to Edit and find Duplicate. And you can see it shows us the hotkey next to it that is relevant for your system. Now, where is it, you might say? We've got these two car bodies. Well, one is exactly over the top of the other one. So on car body 1, if I hit W, Then it changes to my move tool, and I'll move that up in the air. You can see the second component of the car body. Let's hit R.
Wait, hold up, because this car body is hideous. We do not want no blocky car, guys. So I'm going to delete this. I'm going to delete that. Delete. I'm going to fix my car body because I want it to be an actual car body. Okay, how was it? It was W. Let me get in the habit again. Q, W, E, R. Okay, this is the one I want. Yeah, there you go. Make it a little flatter like that. Then again, duplicate, Control D. Do that. I think it was W. It was W. And then we go. Okay, there you go. Now we're good, guys.
And then scale all of this down. And then W, move it back down on top of the car to create.
Oh, wait. I missed that, but I mean, we can literally just use our intuition, right? So he literally just made it like a little smaller. He did this and he did this, but I'm also gonna make it a little thinner like that. There you go. And then let me make sure. Yeah, that's it. And then W, bring it down. I'd like it to like attach to it so that they're not overlapping. There's definitely has to be a way to do that. I'm just not remembering, but for now, I'm good with that for now. This is cool. This is fine for now.
Create some sort of weird top of the car looking thing. And just to show how the rect transform works, I'm going to hit T, and then that allows us to drag things on their individual sides rather than scaling the whole thing. So, okay, back to W. You know what? I'll rename this part of the car body. I'll rename it by clicking on it twice.
Wait, give me 1 second, guys. Give me 1 second.
Car top. Now, so that you're not just watching along and doing exactly what I do, I've got a challenge for you. And a little bit of information I'll give you before the challenge is if you right-click and find 3D object, there's a whole bunch of other things that we can...
Okay, I missed it. Hold on.
Okay, back to W. You know what? I'll rename this part of the car body.
Okay, so guys, this is just like if you want to expand one side, see? Instead of like with the other one where it does like, you know? But how do you do redo in this? It's usually Control Shift Z, but all of these are different. Redo is Control Y. Okay, the old programmer way. Control Y. Okay.
I'll rename it by clicking on it twice. Car top. Now, so that you're not just watching along and doing exactly what I do, I've got a challenge for you. And a little bit of information I'll give you before the challenge is if you right-click and find 3D object, there's a whole bunch of other things that we can add in here as well. For example, cylinders and capsules and spheres. So that's just a little hint for you for this challenge. Anytime you see this green slide with the pause button, this means that we're doing a challenge, and I urge you to go through the challenges each time so you're not just watching what I'm doing, but you're actually doing and creating your own content. The challenge is using simple shapes, experiment to make some sort of vehicle. So it could be a car, it could be a tank, or it could be a rocket ship, whatever you like. Okay, pause the video and take on that challenge now.
Alright guys, I'm only going to do this because you guys might want to see me do this. I've already done it. I'm going to select 2. If you hold control and tap. See, the thing is, guys, a lot of softwares are actually set up this way, where on the left, like programming, for example, if you're a coder, you know, the left has like all your classes and your folders and your direct, like all that stuff, right? Literally the same thing here. And when we select multiple classes or something like that, or just in anything in general, even like on your file explorer, hold control, click, now I have them both selected, right? From there, I'm going to use what he told me, W, and move it all up together. Now he's going to show us something called prefab, where we kind of nest everything. For you video editors, I used to be a video editor as well. You know that nesting puts like a bunch of clips and layers all together in one, and you know, like it's just like one whole thing as a whole. So when you select it, you're selecting everything that was nested. But yeah, unlike that, we use prefabs. Maybe I'll be corrected later. If I'm remembering correctly, it does work this way, but you can actually still dig into each individual object this way. But okay, enough yapping. Let me get right back to it. So look, it's all off the floor. We're gonna do new 3D object, cylinder, and then rotate. Oh, wait, no, wheel. Then we're gonna do rotate. Which one was rotate? Okay, I guess E is the rotate one. And then if you hold on control while you're rotating, it'll do it like nice and like, you know, it's gonna do it nice and instead of like all sloppy like that, where it's a little harder to control, it's gonna have like a nice little, yeah, like that, you know what I mean? So let me rotate around. Then I'm gonna do T, no, not T, what are these? I gotta remember them. Oh yeah, that was R. R is to do that. And we're gonna make it a thin, nice little wheel. It's a little too big of a wheel though. So remember, the middle block is how we scale, guys. I'm gonna make it smaller. This is a good refresher, even though I already did it. I'm glad to be going through it again. And then look at that. I'm gonna move it to the right a little bit. That's it's not touching the car though, so let me move it up. Even if it overlaps. Remember, we don't know the overlapping yet, but we will. For now, this is fine. Okay. Nice. I think we're going through the floor, but it is what it is. We'll worry about that later. This is just like, you know. And now I'm duplicating each wheel. Remember, click on it. Control D is duplicate. Are y'all keeping up? Are y'all watching this? Are y'all keeping up, bro? Whatever. All right. Anyways, now we do wheel 1, wheel 2. I'm not gonna rename them. They're literally just wheel 1, wheel 2. I'm gonna be lazy. Anyways, we're gonna move wheel 1 this way. uneven car, whatever. Wheel 2 is gonna go back right there, and then instead of, look, let me do this, delete, because now we have wheel 3. I want it to be aligned with wheel 3, so or wheel 2 here, but it says it is wheel 3. Maybe I should rename it so not get confused. I'm gonna duplicate that instead, so we could just move that to the right, you know? Let me see. Let's see. Okay, it's not going to be perfectly even. I'm pretty sure he teaches us how to make it so that it is, but for now, I'm happy with this. So here's our little scrappy car, right? It's a nice little blocky little basic geometry ass car. Okay.
Now.
I paused
it. Welcome back. I hope you took on that challenge. That's the really important part of this whole process. I'm going to have a look at my car here. I think it needs some wheels. That makes sense. So in my hierarchy, right click, find 3D object.
I want to see how he goes about the wheels. I want to see if he aligns it perfectly.
Cylinder is in down. E8, I don't know, but that's degrees, I believe.
Literally doing what I did.
See the X rotation. So hit nice, rename this from cylinder to wheel, hit enter, then control D to duplicate. And you can see it says wheel number 1, shows that it's our second wheel. Duplicate again, that's control D. Move it over, and I'm just using Alt and left mouse button.
Oh, okay, that was probably a smarter way to do it.
Control D.
Oh wait, no,
again,
it's not. It's the same thing.
4th wheel.
Yeah, he's doing the same thing we did.
It's good to get used to the fact that from a programming point of view, we usually start at 0 as the first item. So 0, and then you can see our next one's been named 1, 2, 3. Just the way it works when we do programming. We have 4 wheels on our vehicle. I see that these 2 wheels are a little bit too close to the inside of the car, so what I'm going to do is click once and then find the second wheel, hold down shift and click, and now I can select both of them and move them both out a little bit, which
that's what I was saying.
Okay,
Control,
pretty good.
click on
I'm just
them,
experimenting and playing around. The last thing I'll do is, so that we can group these objects together so that we know that these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 things belong to the car, I'm going to come into my hierarchy, right click, and create an empty. That's an empty game object that has no visuals to go along with it. And if you have a look at our game object in the inspector, it's just the transform. There's no other components to tell it what it is. It's just a place in the world. Yeah. And that's good because it's going to be a grouping object for us. Now, just out of practice, what I like to do over in transform, right click and reset. That means that our position will be right in the very, very center of the world, which is 0, 0, 0 on the X, Y, Z axes. Just a
Right
good
click,
habit to get
reset,
into.
and transform.
Now I'm going to highlight, so click car body and then hold shift all the way down to the bottom part of my car, which is the wheel, and then drag this on top of game object, and you can see they become indented. The terminology here is the game object,
just
which
like
I'll
coding,
rename
guys.
to car,
Literally.
is the parent, and all the other objects underneath are the children that belong to the parent. So if I roll up car, you can see that by clicking on car, it highlights everything within there. Also, by clicking on car, I can move everything around at once, and I don't have to go and highlight the individual aspects of it. So that's just a way for us to start grouping our game objects into a parent game object. Okay, that's all for this lecture. In the
Complete. Prefabs next. This is a good refresher. This is a good refresher.
In this lecture, we're talking about prefabs. I've got a couple of prefabs that I've created and a whole bunch of instances in my scene. We'll talk about that, and we'll create just a fun little scene and do some experimenting. So let's get in and start talking about prefabs. Let's start by making a ground for our car to sit on. To do that, over in my hierarchy, right click, and we will scroll down until we find 3D object and plane. That automatically drops a ground plane or a plane.
Oh wait, hold up. Let me see if it works now. The video still isn't working.
In general, it's not necessarily.
That's so crazy. You guys are gonna have to like watch me be the one like following the instructions then. Hey, I mean, I'm still doing it. It's not like I'm doing anything different from what he's doing, right? But that's definitely really annoying. Huh. Udemy must have something like in their programming that like, you know, it lets it know if you're watching, if it's being streamed to black out the video. That would be my guess. But whatever. Okay, let's do it.
Do some experimenting. So let's get in and start talking about prefabs. Let's start by making a ground for our car to sit on. To do that, over in my hierarchy, right click, and we will scroll down until we find 3D object and plane. That automatically drops a ground plane or a plane in general. It's not necessarily a ground plane, but usually that's what it's used for. You can see it's floating a little bit, so I'm going to bring my ground plane up until the tires are touching the tires on the car. Excellent, great. Now if you wanted to make it...
Hold up, because ours is the opposite. There you go. Maybe a little high, just a little bit. Yeah. Oh, you hold on control for it to be like the perfect tap. See, look at that. Okay. Maybe not perfect tap, but to move at certain like increments at a time, I guess.
Ground plane bigger, click on the ground plane. Well, actually, here's a little micro challenge for you. How would you go about making the ground plane bigger?
We already know.
Okay, well, I'm going to hit R on the keyboard, and I will scale like so. There we go. We've got a bigger area we're working with now. Now, we've got one car in our scene, but I want to have a whole bunch of cars in our scene. There's a couple of ways we can go about doing it. The simplest way is I could do Control D. So while I'm clicked on the car, Control D, that will duplicate the entirety of the car, and I can move that into a different position. So that's known as duplicating. That creates a whole new game object that's exactly the same as the previous car. There's a flaw in this process that we're not really going to see in this lecture, but in the future, trust me, it will be a flaw, is that if we wanted to change something about all of the cars in our scene, we'd have to go into each car, okay, change that one, maybe the wheels are a little bit too big, go in that one, change that one, then go into this car and change the wheels on that car, and so on. And that's a real pain. In the future, what we want to be able to do is say, well, let's have one template car. If we make any changes on that, for example, let's make the roof a little bit skinnier, we want all of the other cars to change and to update. And the way we do that is with prefabs. So I'm just going to delete my second car I dropped down, click on car, and then hold down left mouse button and drag down into my assets area down here and let go. That has created a prefab. Now if I click on car down the bottom, I can see assets/car.prefab. Interestingly, I'll just show you this because I find it quite interesting. Right click, show in Explorer. Now we can see within our assets folder we have a car.prefab. This has now been saved to our
Wait, hold up. What the hell just happened, bro? Wait. What did I just do? What did I just do? Hold up, bro. What did I just do? Bro, I know I have my prefab. I mean, I guess, like... Oh my god. I guess like it doesn't actually matter because I could just drag and drop. Like, but that's annoying. Alright, whatever. Alright, let me just do that over again then. 3D object, plane, and then we, what the fuck, bro? What did I do? What did I do? What did, oh, right here. Nope, that wasn't it either. Dog! I'm so annoyed. Oh my gosh. Whatever. Whatever. I don't care. I'll just redo it. It's not a big a deal.
After a car accident, we've been right here in Indianapolis for decades. We know the local courts, and we know how to win. You know who to call.
1-800-2-KILLER.
Whatever. This is just a scrap project anyways. I'll worry about all that other shit later. Or skill big. Alright, we're back where we were. I don't care. It's all good. Okay. Now let's go back to what we were doing.
Created a prefab. Now if I click on car down the bottom, I can see assets/car.prefab. Interestingly, I'll just show you this because I find it quite interesting. Right click, show in Explorer. Now we can see within our assets folder we have a car.prefab. This has now been saved to our hard drive. And you can see in our hierarchy we now have car has turned blue. And there's a lot of depth we'll go into with prefabs throughout the course. There's a lot we can do, but for now we're just going to keep it very...
This is exactly how his screen looks, by the way. I'm just letting you guys know, aside from like the angle the car is in.
Simple and use it at a basic level, but I promise you we'll get into a lot more detail as we go through the course in how to use prefabs.
What's up, Arianis?
For the moment, we're just going to use it to bring another instance of the car into...
Hey, Arianis, if you want to keep up, man, I just started. Download VS Code, Unity, and let's get to it.
Scene. So let's do that. Click.
I'm playing a Udemy course that I paid for, and I'm just doing it for y'all right in front of you. So
and a hold on car down the bottom, drag, 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 drag. Boom, there we go. We've got a second car.
All right, what did he do? What did he do? What did I miss?
So let's do that. Click and a hold on car down the bottom, drag, drag, drag. In how to use prefabs to their maximum power. For the moment, we're just going to use it to bring another instance of the car into the scene. So let's do that. Click and a hold on car down the bottom, drag, 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 drag. Boom, there we go. We've got a second car in our scene, and a third car, and a fourth car, and so on. We can bring in as many of these as our heart desires into our scene. Maybe we can say there's 2 lanes of traffic. So I'm going to hit W, move, 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 click, move, and maybe this is one side of the road.
Okay, that's cool, bro. That's cool. Stick around.
Side of the road. Of course, I made my car look direction agnostic, so you can't really see whether it's going. There we go. We've got a second car in our scene, and a third car, and a fourth car, and so on. We can bring in as many of these as our heart desires into our scene. Maybe we can say there's 2 lanes of traffic. So I'm going to hit W, move, 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 click. Move, and maybe this
so
is
we're just setting up a scene now, guys. That's all we're doing.
Over here is the other side of the road. Of course,
the first time I did this, I made like a bunch of tanks. I made it look like an army setup. You know,
backwards.
Hey,
let's see if we can change that.
I'm just trying to
get through this.
The way
I'm going to do that is by finding my car prefab down the bottom yonder in our assets folder. Double click, and that will take me into just my prefab. And I'm going to open up, expand, so over in the top left in the hierarchy, you can see we've got car, and you can see scenes, car, that means we're working in this car prefab. And I'm going to find the car top, so click on the car top, and maybe move it backwards that way a little bit. Which way does it look like it's going forward?
So this is how we modify each car without going into every single one individually, chat.
So it doesn't really matter.
We just modify the prefab.
That could be the front, or that could be the front, or maybe you've kind of made a truck and this is the tray on the back of the truck. Anyway, I'm gonna pretend that my car has a hood at the front here, or a bonnet at the front, and it's driving that way. And if you look up in the top right of our scene window, you'll see that there's an auto save box that's ticked on by default. That means that as soon as we close out of our prefab, it will be saved automatically.
Oh,
to
that's
our
what I
hard
had to
drive.
do. I had to close out my
top left
prefab.
corner, if I click on the little arrow up here, you can see up in the very top left, click on the arrow.
That's
that will take me back
hilarious.
to the scene,
Okay.
and all of my car instances have been updated. Now they've all got this, the top of the car at the back.
Meanwhile,
and there's a real massive
All
power
right,
and prefabs
all right,
that
give me
you
1
can
second.
make a
Oh,
modification
yeah, never mind.
to
We're
your
working
template or your prefab.
All right,
And then all of the top of the car at the back. And these guys are facing the wrong direction, so I'm going to hit E, rotate them around, bing, 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 so they're driving in the other direction. Okay, so there's a real massive power in prefabs that you can make a modification to your template or your prefab.
So
and
remember,
all
guys,
of the
E for the
instances
rotate tool.
in your scene will be updated accordingly. Very, very powerful. And it's just the tip of the iceberg, my friend, in terms of the things we can do with prefabs. There's a lot more to come. The other thing I'll point out in terms of making changes is you don't have to change all of your instances, all of these cars in your scene, to look exactly the same. Well, if I was to click on this particular one here, I can do this for any of them.
Okay.
So I'll take this car here and find the car top, hit W to move it. I could move this, actually I'll do, let's see, I'll scale this, scale a bit longer and a little bit higher. There we go, move it up a little bit. You can see that I'm making these changes. Maybe now it's a little bit of a truck, actually.
So if we wanna update individual things, guys,
there we go. It's a bit of a delivery.
that's when we go over
make these
here in our
changes to one
hierarchy.
instance, and it won't affect
Right,
the
so if
prefab.
I
So if
wanna
I go and
download
drag my
4,
prefab in,
I'll make
it'll
the
still
car
look
top.
like the prefab was looking before.
make it nice
Delete
and
that guy
ugly.
because he's not needed there. So that's the fundamentals of it. What I want to do is give you a challenge here, and that is to make a scene. Create at least 2 prefabs. I've created one already, which is our car that I've dragged down into my assets folder to become a prefab. I want you to make a second one, and each prefab should be a grouping of multiple objects into one. So for example, I've got 5 or 6 car parts, and I group that in to make a car, and then it's the car that I create as a prefab. And then create a quick little scene using your prefabs. Maybe you can make some houses, maybe you can make some light posts, some
I'll make a
lamps.
light post. I'll entertain. I'll make a light
create
post free roll. All right. So I guess to make a light post, we would first let's see. Let's create a 3D object. We're gonna do a cylinder. Okay. We'll do post. I'll call it post. Right. Then with that, we are going to first move it up because these are above ground. Over here. And we probably want to make it thinner. We don't want this like fat lamppost, right? There you go. And taller. Oh no, that was wrong. Taller. Yeah, like that. Oh my gosh, I gotta get YouTube Premium already. That's my fault, guys. I got y'all listening to ads. All right, there you go. So that will be our lamppost. And then I guess how should we make the actual like light? No. I will put. All right, here's what I'll do. I'll do. 3D object. I'll do another cylinder. Yeah, I'll do that. I'll do another cylinder. Let's do that. Okay. Up. And then I'll make it flat. So there you go. Yeah, I mean, hey, it's just like a little like throwaway thing, right? I don't actually need to make this like nice and super pretty. I think for now, just move it a little back. I think that's good for now. Okay, so we did that. Those are our lampposts. We'll go with that. And now we're gonna create an empty. Create empty. We'll call it lamp post. Let me call this light too, so we don't get it confused. I'm gonna call it light. The post and the light. Gonna select both with Control or Shift, and then clicking on them. Drag it to lamppost, and bam. And then from there we drag it down here, and we have a prefab. And that's it, guys. That's literally all we learned. And then we could just drag that in there like a bunch of times. Right? That's literally it. I'm not too concerned about the alignment right now. Right? But if y'all want to make your scene pretty, go ahead and do that. I'm happy with just this for now. And you know, Yeah, I guess let me just add one for the sake of doing it with you guys. Let me just add one over here too, and rotate, or two over here, and then rotate. Oh, whoops, let me not do that. Rotate. How was it? Yeah, it was E.
My
And
Old Spice Total Body Deodorant. How
there you go.
could she?
And then I'll duplicate it another way so we can do more than just the prefab with Control D. Remember that? So it could be perfectly aligned with the other one. And bam! That's it, guys. We did it. That's how we make the prefabs. And that's pretty much it for this. He's just gonna go over how he did it, but y'all just saw me do it, you know? So,
different sort of vehicles, a couple of motorbikes, whatever you like. Do something fun, do something crazy. There's no way you're going to break it at the moment. So experiment, just allow yourself to have a little bit of fun in this stage. This is what this first introduction section of this course is all about. Just have fun and see what works and play around with Unity. And after you create something, please share a screenshot in the discussions and or in the Q&A. So you should see a link somewhere near this video that says
y'all
a
can
link
share
to the
yours. Send me
discussion
that.
section.
I'll put it up.
Plop it in
Send it
there.
to my email.
Just a note on how you can do a screenshot if you're on Windows and you hit the Windows key
Actually,
and then type in SNIP,
Nah, yeah, I
etc.
don't
You
have
can get
my
the snipping tool.
streamer
The
email
snipping
set
tool
up.
is a really effective way just to grab a screenshot. So I'm going to click on New.
He's using snipping tool, guys, but you could just do the Windows key Shift S, Windows Shift S, and then it just lets you like select the part of the screen you want to screenshot.
And I will then go drag,
does.
and then that's share things, and show you my process of creating a second prefab. So pause the video and take on that challenge now.
We already
Do
did that. We just
I'll
did that.
right click, skinny, and then
Yep.
E for rotate, one side in.
Oh, okay.
If I
He
hit T,
adds
that's
he
my
adds
direct
the
transform,
pole
and I
to
can just
extend the
bring
low
one side of it in.
lamppost.
Now, last thing I'll do is a little lamp
Hey,
thing on top. So
that
once
works.
again, bring it down so that we can group the hierarchy, or I can rename
Yeah,
it as street light.
That's fine.
And there we go. So now, side note, I haven't mentioned this already. Directional light
Wait, what did you do?
to the side, and you can see the process of duplicating a.
Okay, so you're saying you could
Same, so
duplicate
I'm gonna
multiple,
undo
okay.
again, so I get my
I guess
street
that's
lights
worth
back.
showing you
Excellent.
guys,
I
right?
can
So
also, and I can
also did this.
do a Control D.
First,
And
let
then
me actually
move
move
these guys down
like,
to the
together.
side, and you can see the
See?
process of duplicating
So if I
an
select
instance
all
of
of
a
them,
prefab will
I do
create
D,
another instance of
and
a
then I
prefab.
do-
Now my hierarchy is becoming a big old
that.
mess, so let me tidy this
Everything.
up. I'm going to right click,
Duplicated
create
everything.
empty. We'll rename
Bam.
this to be cars, plural, and then right click, transform, reset, so it's in the middle. I'm going to grab each of my cars, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then control click if I don't want to get the directional.
Alright guys,
again,
yeah,
for the
we did that. We did everything. We don't need to do anything else. This one's called Your First Script. We're about to make a script, guys. After this, I'm gonna take a quick break, and then I'll come back to it so we can actually make our first game. So, big W's,
In this
guys.
video, we're
so
going to
we
make sure
fucking
that
got through
Unity
the
is
intro.
speaking properly to Visual Studio Code. We're going to write our first little script, just something silly, to debug log to the console. This is the console, and we're just going to print out a little
Okay.
statement down there. So let's jump in and get started.
fresh in all
First
my
step in
memory.
this process is for us to make
Wait, first let me see if it's finally showing the video. It's still not showing
a
it. Yo, these guys, they're clever. Keeping their course nice and hidden, even if I'm just streaming it. It's interesting. Okay, I haven't seen that. That's all good. That's
C# script. So we head down into our assets directory. I'm going to right click, create, and creating a C# script. Now before you click C# script, wait on a moment. Once you click on this, don't click anywhere else in your screen, just rename the file immediately as I do. So just watch what I'm
Okay.
doing here before you click anywhere. So I'm going to create the script,
I'm not
and I'm
clicking
going to
anywhere.
type straight away, I will
Create it.
type print to console
Print
will be the name of my script. So print to
to
console, and the
console.
convention with naming of scripts is to
Super
have
easy,
camel
guys.
case. So
Printing,
we have
super easy.
capital P, capital T, capital C. And just because I know some people get stuck on this, I'm just going to very quickly show you what happens if you do click away. So don't follow this, but I just want to show you. If you right-click, create C# script, and you can see here we're highlighted already. If I was to click away, it's going to bake in the name of the script.
So he's pretty much saying that after you click off of it, you can't really rename it. Well, yeah, you can. It says it right. Wait, hold on. What's his reasoning?
As what is it? New behavior script. You can see down the bottom here, new behavior script. And that's going to cause issues if I then go and rename it to something else. For
Okay.
example, you can see that something else has a conflict within the script over here. The public class.
Okay.
We're going to talk about classes in the next couple of sections. Public class is still new behavior script. So that's a little bit deep and a little...
See, look, guys, that's actually, I mean, you could just rename the class within the script, but like, I get it. He just wants to make it easy for like you guys that haven't really coded, or just those of y'all that haven't coded. I want to say you guys, I'm sure some of y'all might even be better than me at coding, right? But
a little bit stuff we don't need to get into technically just yet, but I want to point out that if you do have an issue where your game is saying, I don't know what's going on, you've got a conflict, and when you click on your script, you see a conflict between the names. So the name is not the same as what comes after public class. It's different there.
So
then
pretty
just
much,
delete your
don't
scripts
click away
and
after
go
you're making
through
your
that
script.
process
Rename
again
it
and create
there.
it. So the print to console, if I click on that, you can see our information over on the right-hand side. It says print to console. Good, so I know it's going to work. Now let's make sure that Unity knows what should open up when we double-click on that script. So I'm going to head up to Edit in the top left,
going to edit,
find Preferences, and within Preferences, I need to click on External Tools. External Tools, it should be the top note here,
right
External
here.
Script Editor.
Code.
For me, I'm using Visual Studio Code, and again, the reason I'm using that is because it looks pretty much the same on Mac and PC, so that all of our students can follow along the same. It's totally fine if you use Visual Studio Community. It'll be a little bit different to what I'm doing, but it's still going to get you where you need to get you.
Just
so
Studio Code,
make sure
guys.
whatever IDE or
Studio
editor
Code is
you're
used
using,
not even just
is
for
the
like
one that's
programmers in
selected
general
the
love
external
Studio
script
Code.
editor.
You
So
do
Visual Studio
JavaScript, you
Code
do
for me. So
Python.
that's all good.
Visual
Now when I
Studio
go
Code's a
and
go-to.
double click on my script that I've created, it will open up my editor. I'm
now
going to
we
rearrange
double-click.
myself a little bit differently here. If you think that your font is too big or too small, you can Control plus or Control minus. I'm trying to get mine to the size that it's good for you to read. That's a little bit too big. Now the first thing we need to do is to make sure that our Visual Studio Code knows that we're working in Unity and C#. So
what did I miss?
small, you can Control plus or Control minus. I'm
just
trying to
telling
get
us.
mine to the size that it's good for you to read. That's a little bit too big. Now the first thing we need to do is to make sure that our Visual Studio Code knows that we're working in Unity and C#. So you can...
Wait, pause, hold on. The query returned. Let me screenshot this because I'm also making a stock spreadsheet. That's another work session I have right now. Remember, guys, Windows key shift S. See how easy that was? He opened it up and he looked for a snippet tool in the actual search thing, which you can do, but yeah, no, that's the easier way. I'm gonna ignore that for now. Okay, we'll get through that later. Okay.
You can see some buttons over on the side here. I'm going to find the extensions, click on extensions, and that will allow me to add particular things. Now, I've already got a couple enabled from a previous installation that I've done here.
So extensions is just here, guys. This left bar right here, and this is just like if you like if you make music, right? You like if you're a producer, you use presets, right? If you're a video editor, you also use presets. If you're a programmer, you use dependencies, right? It's kind of like that. Like these things are just inputted so that they add certain automatic functionality to when you program. Like it's like it assists you, you know? So anyways.
Here, the first one is C#.
C#. Restart extensions, why? Okay, sure. I'll restart it. So this is just so that our IDE/software, VS Code, right? That's our IDE. It's just a fancy word for program or software, whatever. This is just so that it knows, understands C#, which is the language we're going to be coding our game in. That's all it's doing. So I'm just waiting for it to load. Let me get rid of this. It's just in the way. It shouldn't even be there, since it's not even showing the video. And I'm kind of just doing it for y'all, so I don't even think I really need to keep that up at all if I'm just recreating it, as well as slowing down so you guys can keep up, right? Okay. Hey, this is exciting, guys. Like, I kind of put it on pause for a little bit, but yeah, back to it.
So if I click on that, you can see exactly the one that I'm using. For you, if you don't have this, you can go into the search and type in
This is the one we're
C#.
using. This is the newer one.
And look
His
for the
looks
one
different.
that looks the same as mine. There's a few
it's only
options.
'cause,
Let me
like,
just
that's
open
older.
up a little bit here. There we go.
Actually, hold on. Let me actually see. C#. Nah, that's it. We're doing the right one. By Microsoft. Official. I mean, maybe it's this one too. I mean, no, it's literally just a C sharp. Powered by Omni. Okay, I guess. Yeah, no. Yeah, that's fine, guys. It just has. It's kind of confusing. Oh, well, no, it's 8 million downloads here, 27 million downloads here. It's just 4 stars over there and 2.5 stars here, which is why I was confused. But hey, same thing. Okay.
Basically, this is bringing in standard code and standard rules and standard and information about how C# should work. So click on that one and then go ahead and install. I've already installed it, so mine doesn't have that option, but install that. After you've done that, we need to install our Unity extension. So type in Unity, and for me, I'm using Unity Code Snippets. If we click on that, once again, I've just got install, but uninstall, but for you can go ahead and install that. Now, these change from time to time. They're going to be updated. Some will go out of date. New ones will come along. So long as you're using something that gets the job done, it doesn't really matter which one. So if you don't see the ones that I'm using, because it's off in the future and something's changed that I don't know about, then you can just Google what is the best Unity code snippets for Visual Studio Code, and likewise what's the best C# extension for Visual Studio Code, and it will give you all the information you need. Now we can close this one up.
Wait, which one did you download?
I'm using because it's off in the future and something's changed that I don't know about, then you can just Google. New ones will come along. So long as you're using something that gets the job done, it doesn't really matter which one. So if you don't see the ones that I'm using because it's off in the future and something's changed that I don't know about,
Unity. Just download this one, guys.
What is the best Unity code snippets?
He said
for
any of them
Visual
are fine,
Studio
but use the
Code,
official
and
Unity by
likewise, what's the
Microsoft.
best C# extension for Visual Studio Code, and it will give you all the information you need. Now we can close this one up, and we've got print to console. I can click on my extensions to just make our screen all about the code. Let me rearrange it a little bit here so it's only taking up the amount of space it needs to. There we go. Now, if this is your very first time seeing a script within Unity, it might all look a little bit confusing. It'll become clearer as we go throughout this course. I want you to trust me for the moment, and we're not going to get bogged down in all of the details. The one thing I'll point out now is that we can see here void start. This is a function that will run, so it'll make things happen when this script comes to life. So for us, what we're going to be doing, it'll be when we start playing the game. I'll click on the play button. So we're going to put a statement within this start function here. Like I say, we'll talk about functions, we'll talk about using, we'll talk about classes, we'll get to all those things, but for now, we just want to make sure that Unity and Visual Studio Code are working properly together. So follow along with me here. I'm going to type in debug with a capital D dot log, debug.log, open parentheses, and you can see that because we're in our IDE, it's automatically said, well, I think you're going to want to close the parentheses at the end, so let's pop that in there. We're going to put in quotation marks. So for me, that's the key right next to enter, so shift and then quotation marks. There we go, and once again, it puts in the close quotation marks, being a clever sausage that it is. And I'm going to type in here whatever I want to have print out when the game starts. And here I'll just type in, I'm printing to the console. Just something silly. And then at the end of our statement, so what we've written just in here is a statement.
Actually, nah. Hold up, bro. I gotta keep this shit kid-friendly. I know I'd be cussing, but let me not do stuff like that. I'm gonna just do what he's doing. Alright. I'm printing to the console. Okay. Yeah, I gotta chill, bro. I be forgetting the youth want to learn too. But hey, whole time though, if I'm like a boring ass like old man, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, why would like, you know what I mean? Like I don't want to make this shit look boring, bro. Like, I want people to know like it's cool, bro. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I'm saying? You know? All right, that's besides the point.
Semicolon. All of our statements end in a semicolon in C#. Okay, like I've said, don't worry if this is a little bit confusing for now. We're just making sure everything works, and we'll absolutely...
The thing that's confusing is usually when coding, when they use a debug statement, that's for like when you're trying to figure out what's wrong in your program, right? Like if I was to do debug, let's say somewhere in one of my code, somewhere in my code, something's going wrong, and I add debug statements to see like what the value of. Actually, that's a lot more. That's kind of complicated to explain, especially if you don't code. So
what we
let me
need
just
to do
stop.
before anything will work properly is to save. You can see up here I've got a dot
File save.
next to my print-to-console.cs. I will save.
Or Control
now
S,
it just
guys.
looks like an X mark. So save with just Control S as we save anything. Now I will jump back over into Unity. The critical thing to do with our
to Unity
scripts,
we go.
just having some information on
Give
our
me 1 second, guys. Give me 1 second. I'm getting a call.
Our script isn't enough. We need to have that script attached to a game object so that when our scene runs, the script is triggered. The script is called, and Unity says, do this stuff. So I'm going to find one of my cars, just car number 1, I think it is. And you can see car number 1 has just the transform on it for now. If we open up the parent, we can see all the different visual aspects underneath our car. For now, we're going to click on car, and I will drag my print to console over until I see the big blue line on car.
Okay,
there
we're
we go.
doing the original
That
car.
script has now been attached as a component to my car. And because I attached it to just an instance, I didn't go and modify the prefab, so I didn't do anything to this prefab here. It's just attached to this one card, this one car instance. I could have also clicked on add component and searched for print to console and added it that way. But I'm not going to do that because I've already added it once.
It's coming back to me,
now, what's this console business, you might be saying? Well, console, down in our bottom left, next to project, you can see console as a window. This is where we can print out information about the game. It's not something the player is ever going to see. This is just purely for us developers. We can see information about the game. So, with the console tab clicked, I will click on play, which is up in the top middle of our screen. This is play to execute our game. When our game starts, one of the cars, this one here, has a script on it, and the script is saying, I'm printing to the console.
Right here,
Excellent.
This would have been,
now,
it would have said
hopefully all
Big
that
T
makes sense
hose.
because I have a challenge for you. And that challenge is to simply change the print statement.
Come on,
so
bro,
change
stop
our
bugging
print
me.
statement so it prints out some strange fact clicked.
That's not a challenge, bro. Whatever. Okay, I'll do it for y'all. Look, log, whatever's in the quotes is what's said. It comes down to like just knowing what function prints, and right here it's going to be debug.log, I guess, for C#. I guess that's what we're going with. It's usually like system print or print ln for Python. For Java, system print.out.ln, or just without. That's besides the point. Okay, I'm printing to the console. I'm gonna say the AC is broken. Frowny. That's what I'm gonna do. I hope that works, because it's parentheses. I don't want to confuse it. Well, it's in quotes, so it has to know. It has to know that it's actually just text.
Play. So make sure you
Alright, so let me see.
someone who's not that amazing with 3D art, probably. So go ahead and change the print statement, click on play, and make sure that it all works. I think I've made one thing I forgot to tell you, is that I haven't unclicked play. So make sure you unclick play and then click play again so that your script will work. Make sure you save your script, obviously. So there's a challenge. Pause your video, take that on now.
The camera's all ugly and weird. I don't like that it's here.
Okay, over into Visual Studio
Code.
Code.
That doesn't matter.
Let's find our
It's just
debug
like a little
log.
throwaway
What was the thing I was
thing.
going to say? Hello, I have no doors or windows. Hello, I have no doors or windows. How
see?
silly. I've modified it
Says
a
the
little bit.
AC
I'm
is
shooting
broken.
from the hip here.
That's
Okay,
it.
I'll save that. Back over into Unity. Now we're looking down here in the console. I'm going to click on play, and we should get a new statement. Hello, I have no doors or windows. How silly. Excellent. There we go. So that's the starting process of us creating scripts, of us starting to do coding. That was coding that we've done. If this is your first code ever, fantastic. Very exciting to start that journey. If you've already done a bunch of
If you
coding
follow
in the
along,
past,
which you
then
probably
this
didn't, good
will serve
shit,
as a
guys. We
mechanism for
fucking
making
made it
sure
through it.
that Visual Studio
And then we have one more video in this section. It just says community support. He pretty much just says, like, if you need
As a
support,
team, one of the
do it
things
in the
we pride
comments.
ourselves on is ensuring that our students do them, and please.
Yeah, he just says like.
Scroll to any of the other videos and check that out. I can click the expand button here to give myself more video real estate, or I can click the full screen if I want to see the entire video as a screen, or the entire screen as a video.
Yo, I think it does work, and there's just something. I gotta restart my computer or something, because the first video worked. It just stopped working after that, so that's kind of weird. But yeah, guys, he's just saying community support. You guys didn't actually buy the class, so this is kind of a useless video from you. But I'll be your community support, all right? So if you guys need help with anything we've gone over, I feel like I understand everything. This isn't really a hard thing to digest, you know what I mean? So if you guys do need any help, just like shoot me a message, you know, or message me on Twitter or /X. Let's call it X now, since that's what it is. Yeah, just message me on X. My @ is Kevin Condori _, same as this, except it's just all lowercase with an underscore, and I'll get back to you guys really quick, like that. I want to help y'all. I really do. I want to, like, you know what I'm saying? So I appreciate y'all, and I guess till the next video. That was a W session. We did that shit. Let's go. All right, next one, we're gonna actually make our game, our first little impossible game. Let me pull it up again for those of y'all that didn't see it at the beginning. I already made one of these. It's right here. I want to show you guys what we're about to make. Right here. See that? So it's kind of just like the Impossible game, but a 3D version. And that was the first time I made it. I'm gonna go about it a little differently since it's my second go. But again, it's always good to refresh my memory. The game after that's gonna be like a little Flappy Bird type game, except we use rockets, which is gonna be fucking dope as hell, guys. I'm excited to get that one out the way. Then we got a tower defense, and then we got a what's it called? I don't even remember. It's first-person shooter thing, like super simple. And then from there, we make our game, guys. Then we start making my game, the one that I wanted to make. And it's going to be like, you know, my own thing, you know? So I'm super excited for that, guys. Thank you for watching. If you watched this whole time, make sure to hit that follow. I have other work that I do a lot, so it's definitely something to keep an eye out for. But a lot of love to those of y'all that watched. I'm going to go ahead and hit save. Save. You must exit play mode to save. Okay, I'll do that. Now we file save, and that's it. And we are done. Let's go. Good shit, yo. Oh, man. Okay, guys.